right, everyone, let's welcome my girl Tinashe into the Zoom room, so to speak. Okay, so first of all, this is my first time talking to you. And, one of the things that I've spoken to a lot of artists about was how the pandemic changed their music career, how it changed your approach to music, how, videos, everything. And for a lot of people, the pandemic actually catapulted them in a different space that they really love. What did the pandemic do for you?
Yeah, I mean, it gave me a lot more time to be more introspective and to really kind of zoom in on myself. And I think a lot of times when you're just going through the motions year after year, flying to this country, that country, doing shows, just work. It was very refreshing to be able to have that space to be able to like really get into my mind state, get deeper into the creative process. I made my album 333 during the pandemic, and so it was a good time for me creatively. I think it definitely forced people to have to be a little bit more on their DIY vibes, and I've always been a big fan of DIY energy. I started recording my own music in my bedroom when I was like 17 years old, so just to be in the house recording is something that I'm like super comfortable with. So I think just having that spirit of like, we're going to figure this out no matter what, like we're still going to stay active. We're still going to be able to make art. We're just going to have to get a little bit more crafty and creative. I think that really, it was a good, I wouldn't say it was a good experience, but it was a powerful learning experience.
From a creative standpoint, gotcha. So in asking that brings us to the project 333. So did you name it that on like an angel number tip, or tell me where that came from?
Yeah, I mean, I think during the pandemic, I was always looking for kind of like positive omens and something that would make me feel excited about the future and hopeful and motivated. And I wanted to be able to give my fans that energy with the music itself and also with the title. I just wanted to kind of have that little reference so that when people saw those angel numbers, they also felt encouraged that everything was going to be okay and was going to work out in their favor. And we're all divinely guided and protected. And so I think that's why I named it that.
I love it. I love it because that was one of the first things I was going to ask, but I was like, you know what? I just let me talk about how the pandemic might have possibly changed the music for you, and now we see where we're going with it. So, the song X with Jeremiah. I am a fan of Jeremiah for sure.
Me too.
And I thought that this was the perfect collab. Perfect collab. So, was he your first choice for this record?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he would be a perfect fit. I think with this song, I really wanted someone who could take that melodic approach because the song has a lot of really interesting melodies. And I knew that Jeremiah was going to do just that. He always kills an amazing verse. And I've known Jeremiah a really long time. And I think we've kind of been waiting for the perfect opportunity to collaborate. And so this song just felt really right.
Got you. So, let's bring it to the forefront. So we've talked about the pandemic. We've talked about how it helped birth a great project. Mm-hmm. Being on tour with this new project, tell us, how was tour life?
Tour life was amazing because getting back out there just felt like a breath of fresh air. And I think the audience felt that same thing. The energy in the room was so intense. And I feel like everyone was just really appreciative of having that community feeling of, just being around other people, enjoying life, enjoying music, having fun, dancing and stuff. So it was beautiful. I had an amazing time.
Did you see any like really crazy things while you were on tour?
Let's see, crazy things. I mean, it was just kind of crazy seeing Europe, I guess, after the pandemic, because I didn't really know what to expect. I haven't been overseas in a few years. So it was like, what's it going to be like? Is it going to be like super locked down still? Is it going to be totally open? But it was pretty relaxed for the most part. And everyone was just really happy to be at the show. So nothing too painful.
Well, that's good. Being that you're coming off of a tour, your album, because 333 dropped in March, right?
The deluxe, yeah, the deluxe did.
Yeah, the deluxe dropped in March. So being that you've, wrapped this tour, you have the single that's out, the album that's out, what where does this push you to what's your next step? Like, what's next for you after this?
I mean, I got to get back in the studio, or I am back in the studio. I'm always like trying to make more music so that next year, when I hopefully go back on tour, I'll be able to perform brand new music for everyone. So I'm always on myself to like make new stuff, and to like, I put the pressure on myself for sure to just keep the art going, because it's fun to do new music, perform new music and make new videos. Yeah. And so right now I've been doing a lot of collaborations. In the meantime, I've been in the studio making new stuff, trying to find my inspiration for the next project. And hopefully in the next couple months, it'll all come together. So we'll see, fingers crossed.
So how often would you say that you would like to be in the studio versus how often you actually are in the studio?
Right now, because I'm finally done with all like my festivals and most of my traveling and everything, I'm in the studio, I would say about 4 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week. Which to me is about right. I do like when I'm in the creative mode to kind of like tunnel vision in on the creative mode. Like I don't like to, be like here and there. So I like to kind of work for multiple days at a time, just to kind of get really in my own headspace, I guess. So yeah, so right now I have the free time to be able to be in the studio, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And yeah, that's really great because I have a studio in my house. So it's very convenient to record.
So I know you said you started recording like when you were a kid. So currently in the state of your career now, are you yourself doing any of the engineering side of your music? Or are you just sticking more on of course, the artistic side, but are you going to delve into the producing side? Because that takes a lot of work, totally. to record your own music, mix and master. Like that takes a lot of work. And I love to see when women are taking on challenges and doing things and doing them better than the men that they think they can do. So
1,000%.
So yeah.
I mean, that's really important to me to encourage, young artists and young women to get involved in that side of things, because I think that was really part of the reason that I was able to be successful early on in my career, is because I didn't wait for someone to produce my own music or record my own music. I taught myself to engineer on YouTube. I, figured all that stuff out with like YouTube tutorials, and it's possible. So I love to encourage, new artists to definitely get into that side, but also I have to keep it 100. It's definitely faster and more efficient to have an engineer record me while I'm in the booth.
Right.
So nowadays I'm lucky to have somebody that I can actually like record me, so we can do it simultaneously. So I'm not like running back and forth from my computer to the mic. But it's still, I still heavily encourage artists to have that skill, because you don't want to be limited by not being able to do basic things like record your own music if you have an idea. Or whatever.
Yeah. Because a lot of the times, well, really most of the time, nobody else can really see your vision. Like you can explain it, you can try to explain it to the best of your ability, but if they can't see it, you know what I'm saying? You see it. So I understand that. And speaking of, seeing the vision, what is your vision for new music?
I mean, I always want to continue to challenge myself and push myself to places that I've never gone before, while still, staying true to who I am as an artist and what I like creatively. So I've been experimenting a lot with like a lot of electronic, like sounding synths, and kind of taking it back to what reminds me of maybe like a blog era, like 2012 Tumblr sound, but then still trying to move it forward with a lot of like fresh tempos, and also trying to, kind of just keep it interesting and keep it inspiring, and something that keeps me on my toes as a creative, I guess.
Gotcha. Kind of giving the futuristic vibe that you're already giving, but adding a little extra sauce to it.
1,000%. Always looking for some extra sauce.
I like that for sure. Now, before we close this out, because we're gonna put your socials, they'll be at the bottom of
Amazing.
the screen. Is there something about Tinashe that your fans don't know that you would be comfortable letting them know?
Um, my fans know me very well, honestly, so they know a lot about me, but I think probably something that they'd be the most surprised to hear is that I can go through periods of time where I'm very comfortable being by myself, being alone and having my alone time. Maybe it's the Aquarius in
Mhm.
me, but I like to, you know, have that space for myself in the days and just like in terms of like my relationships and stuff like that. I'm not like focused on dating right now. Like I'm very to myself. I like to spend time like literally by myself with my cat and like in my house. And I think maybe people would be surprised to find out that I really value that personal time.
Space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, especially like even when you're in a relationship, you still need to have your me time because
Yeah.
it's like, what do they call it? Codependency issues. Nobody
Totally.
wants that.
Totally. I think a lot of the times though, it's like in this era and in this day and age, people are so connected to one another through social media, through our phones, that
Right.
it's even more important than ever to like make sure that you get your time to just like breathe and like think of ideas and yeah, just really be with yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tinashe, for your time. I know I know we were trying to get on earlier and I'm
Yeah,
so
I'm
glad
glad
we
we
were
made it
able to
happen.
make things happen. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so in closing, is there anything musically that you want to let your fans know about that's coming music wise?
Right now I have a lot of collaborations that are out. I don't have a new
Right.
project that
Remember
I
you saying
can
that.
tease yet, but definitely check those collaborations out in the meantime. And yeah, check out 333, obviously. Keep streaming X.
Yes. What's your favorite collab to date?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. I've been lucky. I've collaborated with a lot of really amazing artists. Probably Britney Spears, because
Okay.
she's
How
just a
was
legend.
that?
I mean, it was legendary. It's someone that I grew up idolizing her music
Right.
and her artistry when I was young. I was always a huge fan. So it's still very surreal for me to think that I collaborated with her so early in my career. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's amazing. It was amazing to see her in her element on set, on stage. And yeah, we love her.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for your time. I know you have probably quite a few more interviews to go. But thank you again so much. And
Thank
this will be
you.
posted soon within the next couple of days. And we'll
Awesome.
post it and
Great
tag
talking
you.
to you.
You too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.